today in the United Nations, Geneva, a city where the humanity has repeatedly declared its commitment to the dignity, justice, and peace. Today, we gather under the theme that is not only timely but a transformative: human rights and peace better together. Human rights do not begin in the treaties; they begin in the human mind. When a young person learns the value of dignity, the discrimination loses its power. When a community understands equality, injustice cannot hide. When societies invest in human rights education, peace becomes possible. This is why I believe that education is the first and most fundamental human rights, because every other right is protected through it. After working more than a decade across the global platforms with the United Nations, Commonwealth, G20, and through human rights education initiatives, one truth has become clear: human wrongs flourish when human rights are unknown. If children are not taught freedom, they grow with the fearing authority. If girls are not taught equality, they grow up with accepting the discrimination. If communities are not taught their rights, they silently endure the injustice. If the world is not taught peace, it becomes vulnerable in conflict. Human rights education is not a lesson, it's a prevention, it's an empowerment, and it's a transformation. Nearly half of the humanity is under 30. This is not a statistic, and it's an opportunity. The young people today are not connected, they are more conscious, and they are more courageous than any other generation before them. Young people today, through the Youth for Human Rights International, I and they have witnessed how youth are really to shape the rights by respecting the world. They challenge inequality whenever they see it. They demand accountability. They build alliances across the border. They refuse to inherit a world built in fear and the divisions. When we teach youth their rights, we are not creating the followers, we are creating the leaders who will defend the dignity for all. We meet at a time of profound human global uncertainty, where the conflicts are rising, inequality is widening, climate disasters are increasing, misinformation is spreading, gender-based violence continues, civic space is shrinking in many regions. These challenges cannot be solved by law alone. They must be tackled at their root, in hearts, in mind, in classrooms. A world that understands the rights will not tolerate the oppressions. A world that values the dignity will not allow violence. A world that teaches equality will not accept the discrimination. Every conflict begins with the ignorance. So does every act of hate. But every peace movement in the history began with an education. Education is not merely a transformation of knowledge, and it's a construction of coincides. It shapes how we see one another, how we interpret injustice, how we respond to the diversity, how we build the societies. If we want to build a free world without human rights violation, we must build a world where rights literacy is universal. As here we are in Geneva, I offer 3 commitments that international community must take forward. Integrate the human rights education in all levels, from primary schools to lifelong learning. Empower youth as a global citizen, not just students, but co-creators of peace and justice. Promote education that builds empathy, resilience, and deep respect for human dignity. Education must not be limited by geography, gender, or economical status. Human rights belongs to everyone, and so must human rights education should be for everyone. Let me conclude with a quote: human rights education is not a subject, it's a heart of peaceful society and the shield of every human being. Let us build a world where every child knows their rights, every community defends their dignity, and every nation invests in education not as a policy, but as a promise to humanity. Together, let's spread human rights through the most powerful force we possess. It's a global education. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ramu.